He's a father, a brother and icon to those that know him. A man that has the gift of advice to those that respect what he says. A man that will not sugarcoat anything. You can agree or disagree, but he is just someone who gives out great advice. Let's Talk About It is the name of the show. Here is your host, The Icon.
All right, how y'all doing out there? We're gonna get started here in a minute. Okay, how's everybody doing out there? Y'all good? Yes, there we go. Want to welcome y'all to the show. Hope everybody's doing great. Everybody's having a good week. This is the month of love. Lord have mercy. Valentine's Day. Wow, holy crap. I am Icon. The show is called Let's Talk About It, where we take letters that I get from my loyal listeners. They just need some friendly advice or some sarcastic advice or whatever advice I can pretty much come up and give them. But it's all good. So we have a listener. When I read the title, I was thinking this was going to be his dying declaration, but clearly that's not it, because he's entitled the letter My Final Days. I thought he was sick or about to die or something, and then, whatever, it is what it is. So, but before we get into it, I just want to say thank you to the listeners. That's everybody's sticking with me. Follow me on my social medias and sending me your letters and your thoughts and your negative comments and your whatever. All right, so without further ado, we're going to get into this letter. We're going to see if we can help this young man out. He's experiencing a little bit of, I guess he's a little bit nervous because he's getting ready to graduate high school. Of course, my daughter, she's getting ready to graduate high school too as well. So, in any event, without further ado, hopefully you guys got your tea, coffee, whatever, and your vape. Let's get into it. Alrighty. Sorry, y'all caught me in my robe. It's a little bit chilly. Well, it ain't really chilly. I just like the robes. I got like 3 different kinds of them, but I love them. Alright, so this letter's entitled My Final Days. Hello, Icon. My name is Joseph. I'm from North Dakota. I'm getting ready to graduate high school, and that's the reason for this letter. I'm currently an average student with average grade, and honestly, it scares me that I'm about to face this world because I understand from my parents that it's a lot harder now than when it was back in their day. Ain't that the truth? Icon, we're not a rich family, but a proud family. But my parents have faced hardship over time after time, and I can contribute that to politics of the current administration. I know you understand. I understand that you don't want to talk politics, but if you could allow me the courtesy of just explaining something that has happened to my family. It's weird, Icon, because my parents weren't this political until this dumbass arrived on the scene. I guess they're talking about the current administration. And I didn't like that my father voted for this guy, but he's still my dad. And I honestly love my parents. They've been married for 26 years, and I don't see them slowing down. That's good. Trump has not slowed this family down, but has done more harm. Has done more to harm us as a nation because of the things that he's done. My dad's lost his job due to Trump's dumbass tariffs. I won't say where my dad works, but let's just say that he's been with this company since he was old enough to work. My mom gave him nothing but comfort, even though he voted for the guy, and that didn't or isn't for the working class, because my mom voted for change and even tried to convince my dad why voting for Kamala Harris was a better choice. But nevertheless, my dad was not sold on her, even though this idiot is doing everything wrong. So my dad caved after losing his job, and he is now a house husband and completely understands now what is happening with his life at times. He's a bit down depressed, but luckily my mom keeps everything together, as many women should. So he's more confused on us as a family and he's more focused, not confused. He's more focused on us as a family and making sure that we continue to be the best person that we can be, especially since I will be graduating soon. Oh, by the way, I have 3 other siblings, 1 brother, 2 sisters. My other sister is a junior in high school, and the other 2 are still in middle school. Icon, I feel that graduating is good. I'm just confused as to where my life will go from here, because I honestly don't know what I want to do after high school. I'm not a popular guy in high school, but I have groups of friends, and I would say half of them already know what they want to do after high school. I do have a job. I've been working at Walmart since my sophomore year, and I enjoy it. My parents are very supportive of me, but they did tell me that after high school I will need to start paying rent because I can't live in the house rent free. But to me, that's fine, because I understand I need to start understanding what I need to do as a young adult. I also have my own vehicle. It's a 2012 Chevy Impala. Hey, Impala fam. It's a 2012 Chevy Impala. I bought and paid in cash after working and saving it up for it. I bought it just for my junior year of high school. Icon, I think I'm scared because this world is so different than what my parents are used to. But they said I have everything at my disposal as far as endless opportunities. My parents would talk to me about the past and the days that they spent doing in the summer and how finding a job was a lot easier than it is now. They would often talk about how back in the day, how they wouldn't have to worry so much about life, because I heard back then food was a lot cheaper and than it was now. Gas is like 75 cents. I can attest to that because I remember that. Gas was 75 cents when I was growing up. Going to the movies was the best time for them. I am proud of my parents, even though the life they gave me wasn't the best, but they continued to provide the best for us. One of my friends that I stopped being friends with was because just the worst. Was always bragging about what he had and what his parents would let him do. But he would come to my house and he would low-key ditch me and talk about how things that I didn't have, he had, was just a complete sack of shit. My sister heard him say those things about our family, and she punched the shit out of him, and I felt happy because he used to date my sister for a very short period of time. But Icon, I'm just looking for some advice on what to do, what I can do after high school. I also heard you talk about your kids and that you have a daughter that will be graduating as well. So I'm curious if you can give me the advice that you're giving to your daughter, even though I'm sure I heard it before. But it's okay. I just feel nervous, so I need more positive encouragement if that's okay. I enjoy the show when I can, because I'm sure you hear this all the time, but there's not a lot of podcasts like yours. Signed, a nervous, scared senior. Well, Mr. Joseph, I appreciate the letter. I do. From what I can read, you sound like a very bright and intelligent young man. Letter's written really well. So I would first like to say, I think that you have described that your parents are doing like really well, and that they are really like invested in you, in your siblings, in your future. Now, I know that your dad voted for the idiot in the White House, but that's not a bad thing. As long as he's not trying to project those policies onto you or the rest of his family, I just say let bygones be bygones. I mean, your mom voted for somebody who she thought would change that as many of us Americans voted for, and that would have been change. Change would have been good to have somebody decent in the White House instead of this dumbass we have now. But that's neither here nor there. I don't think necessary to say that we're going to be stuck with this guy, but I do think his time is going to come where he's going to have to answer to any and everything. So I think what's going on with your parents and with your family, I think it's a good thing. And you said you're not a rich family. I'm not a rich family neither. I am just an average guy who likes to take care of his kids. And I want the same thing that your parents want for you. And that is for you guys to be the best that you can be. I hope that this letter will somehow inspire you, and this letter I can give you some kind of encouragement. And that I can offer you all the advice that I can offer you. Give me just a second here. Just take a little. Okay. So, I also want to say is that I commend you because you seem, I know it's going to be nervous because this world was a lot different than what we grew up with back in the day. Back in the day, we grew up with, as I said before, we didn't know that this world was going to turn out the way it turned out. When social media exploded, when we got the internet, I think that was the best thing ever. And we didn't know that the internet was going to go the way it was going to go, but it went the way it went. And I mean, as every day, every minute on the hour, we've been shown and been proven that technology changes every minute of the hour. So it's something new that's coming up with. So I think you're headed in the right direction as far as, because let's be honest, I have kids that graduated and they still didn't know what they want to do after high school, and they're still trying to figure themselves out. That's the beauty of figuring out life. Now, I can say back in my day, when I graduated, I wasn't so certain on what I wanted to do with my life because I didn't know if I wanted to go to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I think the day after I graduated, I actually went back up to the high school and I got kicked out because why? I could no longer attend there, so I had no business being there. So it was kind of scary. It's very scary. But that's a part of life. And I think your parents have prepared you for what's to come and how they're raising you to the best that they can do. Because again, even though no parent is perfect, it sounds like you have the perfect parents. And even though I'm a single parent doing this with my 3 remaining kids, and I'll have 2 more kids coming up, but that's a different time. But I feel that your parents are doing everything they possibly can for you to make sure that this world is going to be something that you can experience. And don't get me wrong, you're going to jump into this world. You sound like you have everything. I mean, you already have a job at Walmart. Now, Walmart, we know, is a good job. And depends on how far you want to go with Walmart, or if you want to do something different. So you've already started to do everything right. You bought your first car just before you were starting your junior year, and you saved up for it. That's a good accomplishment. Take that accomplishment, because there's not a lot of people that can do that. I mean, I remember my first car was a Lincoln. Oh man, it was a yellow Lincoln. I love that car. I bought it off my uncle, and it was a Lincoln Continental. I think it was roughly around a 1980 or 90. I'm not sure, but I love that Lincoln. I drove it to school, even though it wasn't tagged, but I still drove it to school. But you sound like you have everything that's together with you already. You're just missing not really missing anything. I think you're just a little bit nervous of what this world is going to come to, because let's face it, this world is a lot different than what it was back in our day. You know, your parents talk about the good old days. I talk about the good old days with my kids. How I wish that we can go back to simpler times of, you know, cheaper groceries, or cheaper gas, because let's face it, as the years go by or the days go by, everything gets a lot more expensive. We don't even understand why. And I mean, I have a pretty good idea as why they're getting it so expensive. That's because we have a dumbass in the White House who is clearly making life a lot harder for us, but at the same time enriching himself and his friends. So I don't like to use the phrase, the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, but I kind of believe that, because as of right now, I struggle to pay my rent. I struggle to pay my bills, and that's holding down 2 jobs and still trying to take care of my kids. And let's just face it, I think what you're doing is smart. Your parents are setting you up for responsibilities, saying that you have to pay rent after high school. And let's be honest. Now, I know there's a lot of parents out here that be like, well, my kid's not going to pay rent. They're living with me. Well, some of you guys might be well off with money. I'm not. But I think it's just the responsibility of your kids just taking ownership and responsibility. So when they get their own place, they understand that they got to pay rent every month. Now, everybody parents differently. Everybody doesn't parent the same. But I think what these parents are doing to their son is admirable, because they want to show him responsibility. They want him to show that in life you have to pay your way. And when you pay your way in life, and if you keep paying your way in life, good things will come to you and good things will start happening. So I don't think it's bad what they're doing. Now, some parents might disagree with me on this, but it's all a part of life. And even if you do have money, if your kids are still wanting to pay, and if you still make your kids pay rent, well, that's the beauty of it, because I'm sure some parents will say, well, my money's not their money. And it's true, it's not, because they have to earn their way in life. So I think what your parents are doing is admirable. And I think what they're doing is just trying to show you the right way that, you know, in life, we all have to pay our way in life. So there's nothing wrong with that. You said your parents have been married for 26 years. I was married for 26 years before my wife passed on. The best years ever. And you said you don't see them slowing down, the signs of slowing down. That's good. I think what you can take from your parents is that the lessons that they're giving you now is just something that they're preparing you for in the future. Because if anything, take their relationship. You have one who voted for a Democrat and one who voted for a Republican, but they still love each other. And your mother stepped in to console your dad when he lost his job, even though it wasn't your dad's fault that he lost his job. But she could have rubbed it in his face. She could have been like, well, I told you so. This is what happens when you guys vote for an idiot. But she didn't. So I think the life lessons here that you can take from your parents is just being honorable, being humble, being respectful to one another, and knowing that these two are just so much in love. Now, you didn't say that you had a girlfriend or whatever, and that's probably a good thing. It's probably fine, because after high school, there's so many things that we have to look forward to, and there's so many things that we want to do. I'm not saying that having a girlfriend would further complicate things with you on your journey, but this is a journey that you want to take by yourself, and I respect that. You say you have a huge social circle of friends. That's good. And let's be honest. After high school, you're not going to be the only one that's going to be nervous, because some of your friends you will keep in contact with, some of your friends you won't even see anymore. I mean, I know when I left high school, I didn't keep in contact with none of them, because it's not the fact that I didn't want to, it's just that I didn't really need to. So depending on how close you are with your friends and the circle of friends that you have, maybe. But it sounds like, Mr. Joseph, that you have a good head on your shoulders. You have a good upbringing, and you don't have to be rich to be a parent. You don't have to have money to be a parent. All you need is just the love of the people that are raising you, and that would be your parents. So be proud of what you're doing. Be proud of how this life is going to embrace you. You know, every ending is a new beginning. Graduation is just the first chapter. So remember that, and I'm going to be throwing you quotes out here all through this podcast because I get it. I understand. I mean, I was you. I just thought that, after high school, things didn't really get that bad for me. They were a lot easier. I married my high school sweetheart. We didn't have no kids until after we were married and had our first place. By then we were working. Now, could I have done things a little bit differently back then? Yeah, I could probably say I could have wish I would have saved money better than what I do now. Because let's be honest, after high school, I got married. And though I loved my, though I loved my wife and I loved everything that she stood for and everything that she was about, I don't regret any of that. I don't. I just loved her and I knew I wanted to be with her. But we built a life together. We both worked, we both faced hardship. And that's what life is. You are going to face hardship in life. Nobody said life is going to be easy. It's how you deal with the hardship that's going to make it easier. So I think that, excuse me, give me a second, let me get something to drink. I think that you have every reason to be scared, every reason to be nervous. It's natural. Nobody leaves high school and just automatically assumes that the world is theirs and they're going to own it and make it theirs. There are steps in this world that there are things in this world that you have to adapt to. There are things in this world that you have to get used to. So you don't sound like you come from a small town, but then again, I could be wrong. I think small town living is a little bit not too bad per se, but small town living is just that you're a little bit more sheltered in your community, because when you come from a small town, well, even though we see the world on TV or YouTube or on social media, we don't really know how to experience this world. So I would say to you that embrace these final days, these final few chapters of high school. Soak up what you can do. Continue to progress on as yourself. Don't think that just because you're going to graduate, things are going to get harder. You sound like a very, very, very intelligent young man. You sound like you have everything that you want to do. You've been at Walmart, and I think you said you've been at Walmart since what, sophomore? Since you were a sophomore. That's good. That's really good. So if Walmart's not the thing that you want to do, then find something that you want to do. And don't get me wrong, you're going to experience a lot of things that you may want to do. A lot of things that maybe Walmart's not the job for you. But only you can find that out for yourself. Only you can make that determination. Only you can make that decision. So I think that you're right to feel nervous. But it's just butterflies, my friend. It's just butterflies. It's going to be okay. Because like I said before, you have a great upbringing. You have great parents that support you and your other 3 siblings. And I'm pretty sure they just want the best for you. And I'm not saying that they struggled in life, but we all struggle in life. How we struggle in life is how we come ahead, and how we know that we're going to be humble in life, and that we know we got to do what we got to do to get where we need to go. So it's not a bad thing. Just take everything as a positive thing. So, and if you hear your parents talk about the good old days, that's because, like your parents, I wish that we can get back to the good old days. The days of just, things were a lot more simpler. We didn't have idiots for presidents. We had, the world was collectively as one unit, but these are things you're going to face in life. You're going to face criticism. You're going to face people that don't like you. And the way you deal with that is just not giving the attention that they want, So I think that everything that you're doing is just the best. And I think that you are the first, it sounds like you're the first one to graduate among your siblings, because your sister, which is probably coming behind you, well, she's going to need that guidance too. So depending if you stay there with your parents, which I'm sure you sound like you're going to, until you figure out if you want to move on and move out or whatever, that's completely fine too. I think being there for your younger siblings to show them that their bigger brother is going to be strong no matter what. Because let's be honest, as the oldest, you feel some kind of way because you feel that when you're graduating and you're the first one to graduate of the siblings, it's kind of a weight on your shoulder, but not really, but you're kind of there to lead by example. So you're graduating and then your sister's going to be coming out next year. Now, I know that you're just going to have some positive, kind words to say about her and the positive thing that she's doing, because it doesn't even sound like you guys are a troubled family. Judging by this letter, it sounds like you guys really are a close, tight-knit family. And that's what a lot of kids are missing these days. You know, there are a lot of kids out here that just want that family structure, that family bond to say, well, hey, can you show me the way? And that's what I do with my daughter. You know, my second to my oldest son, he graduated. He didn't get to walk the stage because at that time we had lost his mother, but he still graduated. So he is still trying to navigate this thing he called life. He's been in between some jobs. He wants to start doing real estate, and he hasn't given up on it. He's just trying to get the money for it. So right now he has his own place. He lives with his cousin, but he has his own place. And and though he lives with his cousin, he's still, you know, managing to make his way. He doesn't have, none of my kids have any kids, thank God, but they want to wait for that because they want to develop their life. They want to get their life on track. They want to see what they can do or what this life has to offer. And let's be honest, it hasn't been the best for my son. You know, he's finding out that, you know, things cost money. You know, you got to pay bills. You know, you got to stay on top of things because you can't let these things fall or slide, because if they fall and slide, well, then you're going to dig yourself into a deeper hole, and you're going to try to get out that hole, but it seems like you're going to dig yourself deeper into that hole. So what I tell my son is that I'm proud of all my kids. I have 2 kids that didn't graduate, but one of them works and one of them stays home with me. Well, not stays home with me, but one of them still lives here. He's still trying to find his way in life. I pray for my kids every day that they find that their way in life, that they find that they find their way in life. And the only thing I can do as a parent is to be there for them, because when they fall, I want to be there to pick them up, and I want to be there to encourage them. And when I encourage them to do better, then they're going to continue to do better. Now, like I said before, nobody's perfect. Even as a parent, I'm not perfect, but I try to do what is best for my kids and try to instill it in them that, hey, this is what me and your mom wanted for you guys. Me and your mom wanted you to have a good life. And so far my kids are doing just that. You know, there are obstacles in their way, but they're just trying to navigate this thing called life, and they're trying to be productive in a way. You know, my youngest son, who wants to be an attorney, who is doing debate, he went out for basketball. He didn't make the basketball team, but he tried debate. So he's been really good at debate. And that's the kind of encouragement I want to encourage my kids to do. My kids are free to do whatever they want to do within reason. You know, if it's good for them, it's good for them. If it's bad for them, of course I'm going to tell them if it's bad, but they're going to probably try it anyways. Because why? I've somehow been through the things they've been through. Behind you are your memories. Before you are all your dreams. Around you are all who love you. Within you is all you need. I'm just saying. So, my daughter, who is getting ready to graduate this year, she's kind of feeling the effects, but at the same time, maybe she is, maybe she isn't. I think as the day gets closer and closer, and I'm pretty sure everybody's like this, or majority of the people that's getting ready to graduate, because I know that after when people talk about, oh, I'm going to graduate, I'm going to do this, that, and the other, well, some do and some don't, because some don't have an idea of where they're going to go with their life, but some do. And even though some that do know what they want to do with their life, there's still a starting point. So it's still kind of scary to them. And my daughter, which is currently looking for employment, because let's face it, back in our day, as I said before, we didn't know the world was going to turn out the way it turned out. We had a job. I had a job right out of high school. My wife had a job right out of high school, and we just worked. We didn't know that technology and everything was going to be so advanced. I mean, and a lot of people say, well, do you think if you know then what you know now, would you do things differently? Maybe a little bit differently. Like I said, I wish I could have a better hold of my finances than what I'm doing now, because I'm still kind of in the red. And I'm not ashamed to admit that. You know, I'm only human, but I'm trying to make sure my kids don't make the same mistakes I did when it comes to money. Now, I didn't know a lot about credit when I was coming up. I didn't know that you had a credit score, credit number. I didn't know about none of that shit. None of it. So, of course, when I started getting like all this credit, and I started, just taking shit here, taking shit there, not even paying for it. I would start to pay for it, but then the payments would just go downhill. 2 years ago, I paid off my first car because I would just get a car, and not understanding that if you don't pay the note, well, they're going to repossess the damn thing. And I would just let the cars go back and, not think anything. And then I would go to the next dealership. It's not going to go on your credit report. Well, it turns out it did. It did. So I'm not afraid to admit that. I'm not afraid to admit that I have flaws. And this is what I'm trying to teach my kids, that in life, everything you do is all upon you. So if you're going to be that person that's going to pay your bills, or you're going to be the person that's not going to pay their bills. Now, my credit isn't the best credit. Let's be real honest about that. It's not the best credit. I'm far from the worst, but I'm far from good. Am I working on that? Yes, I'm trying to. But this is getting harder and harder by the day, because even with 2 jobs that I work, I'm still coming up short. So am I trying to teach my kids to do what's right and do what's best for them? Yeah. As well as your parents trying to do for you, because that's all they want to see. And though my kids are not even thinking about having kids or talking about having kids, they're still having fun. And that's what I want. I want them to have fun. I want them to live life, but I want them to be responsible in life, so that the things that they do in life are an achievement to them or reflection of them. Maybe a little bit of reflection of me, but hey. But that's just me. So I can openly talk about things that have affected me, and things that I have done, and things that I want to change for my kids as they're getting ready to graduate and getting ready to navigate this world. Because let's be honest, this world is a very cold world. And I'm not even sure if, as we see in America, you can be afforded any of the endless possibilities with or without college. Now, there are some jobs that you have to have a college degree, but for the most part, not really. I mean, it just depends on what field you're going into. Let's say if you're going to be a doctor or an attorney or some politician, well, you might want to get that experience. But as for me, I didn't think I was going to go to college. I started off, when I moved to Mobile, Alabama, I went to Remington College for computers. I dropped out because technology was changing so vastly. And I didn't know, I think I only maybe knew about maybe half what I know about computers now. Because I built computers, and I'm much more of a hardware guy, not a software guy. I don't code, even though my kids code, but I don't code. So my kids can do code, but I can't. I wasn't a hacker per se, but let's just say I knew how to get things done. But I think that just changed. Things changed for me as I was, in college, because they were showing me things on how to do. But like I said, I was much more of a software guy than I was. I was much more of a hardware guy than software guy. So, excuse me. Give me a second. Let me get something to drink. But I often think about what would have happened if I would have stayed in college. And though they were showing me things about computers, because I took what I already knew and what they already gave me, and I used it at some of my jobs. A lot of people saying, well, you should have went to school for this. And I was like, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. But I found something I love to do, and I love driving. I know that's going to be corny to a lot of people, but I love driving. I love the open road. I love, taking people here to there. I love the fact that I'm driving this big machine and there's people in this machine, and that I'm taking a point A to point B. So I think that when you find what you want to do, you're going to know, and it's going to make you happy. So you're going to come across a lot of different jobs. I don't know if you'll stay with Walmart, but let's be honest. I worked for Walmart. I started out as this is a store we were putting together. And as we were putting the store together, manager took an interest in me to say, hey, you're really killing it out there. I mean, people follow you, you got good direction, you give them good sense, and they know what to do, and you know what to do. So I started out as a cashier, and I think within 3 months of that, I moved up to a CSM, customer service manager. And then 2 months of that, I landed the head CSM position, because it was me and another young lady that we were kind of in the same categories. So they decided to split the position into 2 head CSMs. I ran night shift, she ran day shift. And not only that, I had gotten, I was a 4-star cashier, had the highest IPH, item scan per hour. So being at Walmart was just fantastic. It was great. It was good. Sad to say, I got fired because I had let my in-laws use my discount card. And apparently, I guess that was a no-no, even though Walmart said that they could use it or whatever, but whatever. The fact of the matter is, when you're at a job, you take all the knowledge that you can with this job, because once you take that knowledge, if you're going to stay with this job, or if you're going to try to go on and do something different, well, you already have some inclination of what you need to do. So, and I did just that. I mean, it seems like every job that I've been in, I've always been in management. Now, I'm not in management now. Well, yes, technically I am kind of in management. At my main job, I'm not in management because I drive a truck, and it's a roll-off truck. But my second job, I am in management because I didn't choose to be, but, as again I say, when people see something in you and they like what they're seeing on the way you progress at work and how you conduct yourself at work, you're going to get noticed. So I don't know whether you plan on going to college or not, or if you plan on just, trying to navigate to find different jobs, because every job that I did was something different. I mean, I have done, I'd made sweatshirts or made hats. I've done a lot in my life to be proud of. I've ran a lot of businesses. I ran bus companies. I did transportation. So I think having that up under my belt didn't really make me a threat, but it's like a job I applied to, they was like, well, you're too old. You're a little bit overqualified for this job. I was like, what does that mean, overqualified? I was like, we can't hire you because we wouldn't know what to pay you, because we know the money you want, but we know we can't give you that money. And that's fine. That's okay. So I would say to you, Ella, shut up. But I would say to you that you're going to find your way. You're going to be okay. You're going to do what is best for you. And your parents are there to support you 100% of the time, 100% of the way. It sounds like you're going to have a very good support system. So what I talk to my daughter is that we still talk on a daily basis because I want to know what she wants to do. And she say, well, Dad, I'm still thinking about it. And that's fine. I'm not trying to rush her. I just want to make sure she gets set up to be successful. She said she wanted to be an electrician. She wanted to go to college for be an electrician. I said, sweetheart, you can do anything you want to do. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. So she's still kind of up in there, and she's been looking for jobs and trying to find jobs. And, I just been trying to be there, be her coach in the corner or a cheerleader in the corner and just say, hey, you can do whatever you want to do. And Mr. Joseph, I hope that, when you listen to this, that you understand that you have parents that love you. I don't need to know you, but I feel like I do know you. And let's just say I'm pulling for you. I'm pulling for you and hundreds of other kids that maybe or maybe not listen to this podcast, But I know you're going to hear this, and I'm just saying that your parents want what's best for you. So continue to make them proud. Continue to be happy in your life and your work and what you continue to do. Because at the end of the day, do what makes you happy. As one chapter closes, another one begins. So here's to the journey that shaped us and the future that awaits you. Nothing lasts forever, but we got these memories. Cherish all the time that you have in high school, my friend, because after high school, things are going to change for you, and things are going to change for the good for you. As for that friend that you told me about that, he's got it all and everything. Well, people like that are not going to be happy. If people only want to kind of feed off not your misery, but they kind of want to make themselves feel better because they have what you think they want. And I got to be honest with you, I was never jealous of anybody who had more than what I had. Did I envy him? No. Was I happy for him? Yes. And it's still like that, because just because I see you have things that I generally want doesn't make me a jealous person. Doesn't mean I'm going to be like, oh, well, they've got this, that, and nothing, I can't hang on. No, that's not me as a person. Me as a person is just me being me. I don't need to mimic your life. I don't need to try to go out there and try to figure out why your life is better than mine. I don't do that. I'm just going to continue to do what I continue to do every day. That's wake up, thank God, see my kids, off to school, go to work, come home, and talk to my kids. Because to me, that's the better feeling to me. Now, for those who have money and that can afford to do these things, I'm happy for you. But if you have money doesn't buy happiness. It damn sure doesn't buy love. So I know that we see these people on social media, that these parents are just doing everything they possibly can for their kids because they don't want their kids to struggle. I got news flash for you. How much is enough for your kids? Are you going to continue to enable them for the rest of their life? Or are you going to let them try to stand on their own 2 feet and say, hey, I'm not cutting you off, but this is what I need from you? Because we see time and time again that, parents that enable this kind of behavior where your kids don't grow up. They don't ever grow up. They always expect their parents to come in and take care of this or take care of that. And why is that? Why shouldn't it be that way? It shouldn't be that way. But again, everybody parents differently. And when you parent like that, then it's just a recipe for disaster. So, and it's no shade to none of you parents that want to parent like that, because I know that a lot of parents that, didn't have a good upbringing want to show their kids that they can provide everything they possibly can for them. But ask yourself this question. What good is you providing for them when they can't even provide for themselves? So as a parent, I just want to see my kids successful. I want to make sure that they instill what I've instilled in them, and when they have kids, they instill what they instill in their kids. Because let's face it, I can win the lottery tomorrow and I would still probably be working. I would still probably be just helping people out and doing what I do. And I damn sure probably still be doing this podcast because that's just me. Now, I know a lot of people say, well, if you did win the lottery, that would change you. It wouldn't change me. It wouldn't change me not one bit. I would still be the same person. And I think that we can all take a lesson from Mr. Joseph's letters here and say and think, if you have a kid that's getting ready to graduate, sit down, talk to your kid. If they have a plan, they have a plan. If they don't have a plan, work with them. Don't try to force them out to be like, say, well, okay, well, you got to figure out something because, it's coming and this, that. No, this is going to be the last year they're going to be in high school. This is going to be the year that they don't have, that they will, or maybe they won't see their friends ever again. And that's not a bad thing. To some, I know it could be, but you want your kids to go out into this world. You want them to navigate this world the best possible way they can. Because when they get out into this world and they don't know anything, well, either they're going to ask you or they're not going to ask you. But my thing is prepare your kids for any and everything that's coming to them. And what I mean by coming to them, like this world, this cold world that's coming to them. Because let's be honest, this is going to be the new breed, the new generation. 2026. Every year, kids graduate. Some lose their way. Some continue to struggle and find their way, and others have found their way. So, I'm just saying. Pain travels through families until someone is ready to feel it. So you got to understand that this life that you're about to take is a life that's going to be good. Again, keep all your memories, keep all the good times, because there's going to be plenty more good times that's coming your way, Mr. Joseph. So sometimes you'll never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. So as I get ready to close this letter out, I just want to say, Mr. Joseph, thank you for the letter. It's a good letter, and I hope that my listeners can take something away from this letter. And if you have kids, maybe play this podcast for them. If they have questions, just answer them. If they're not sure what they want to do, okay, I'll give you one more example. My son that graduated said he wanted to take a year off from high school. There's no taking a year off from high school. I mean, you're going to get kind of like, he didn't really get thrown into it, but he had a job. But it's like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain, but he had a job and he thought that life was going to be just this walk by. He was going out partying, having fun and drinking, and he just, and as he got older, or as he's still getting older, he doesn't drink as much anymore. I think he only took a drink for his birthday, and now he's just goal oriented on finding a job and keeping a job and making sure that he's taking care of himself. So, and I get it. We all want a break, but bills don't stop coming. Your parents damn sure don't want to pay for that. So you got to do the respectful thing. When you graduate, you graduate. It's just tough because it's just tough. Let's just say it's tough. So don't let anyone who hasn't been in your shoes tell you how to tie your laces. So as I get ready to close the show out, I want to say thank you to my listeners. Thank you for the letters, Mr. Joseph. I hope this letter finds you in a good way. I hope everything that is good that is going to happen to you, I hope that everything positive that is coming your way happens to you. Stay focused. Stay blessed. Keep your parents closer to you, my friend. Because as I said before, some kids just want their parents just to pay them more attention. And I know that you have a good upbringing, and I know that there's parents like me and your parents, and I know there's plenty of other parents that are trying to do what's right for their children. And the way they do continue to do right by their children is that they continue to show them the right way that they need to navigate this world. Because it is a hard world out here. It's not like it was back in the 1980s or the 1990s. And oh boy, those are the good years. God, those are good years. Man, those are good years. But I hope and pray that this letter finds you in a good way, my friend. Don't be scared. Don't be nervous. Just take life, grab it by the hand. You're going to be okay. It's going to be all right. So, and the same thing I'm telling you, I have told my daughter. And we have this talks every day. And then, like I said, she kind of flip-flops back and forth. But hey, she's still trying to navigate this thing called life. And that's all I want for her. So, and that's all I want for you too. But as I said before, it sounds like you're doing everything right. You're doing everything right that you possibly can. Just continue to make your parents proud. But most of all, make yourself proud. Make yourself happy. So, I don't know what your craft is, but I'm pretty sure you're going to find that out later on in life. So, you'll have to go do a few jobs in order to find the right one. That's no big deal. It's no big problem. It's not a big issue. Because in life, we all go through jobs. We all got to go through some kind of bullshit to get the job that we want. Remember, my friend, and remember to the people that's listening, you will start somewhere in life. You're going to start from the bottom, but when you start from the bottom, it just depends on how fast you can climb and how well that you can do to get where you need to go. So, it's been a good letter. It's been a great day. And I hope that this letter finds you in a good way. So, as I get ready to close this letter out, I want to say thank you to all my listeners again. If you have any questions or concerns, d6empire357@gmail.com. I also have my phone number listed for a text message, or if you want to leave a message or something that you want to share with me. It is on my Facebook podcast page. I am Icon. I don't answer this line. I don't answer this number. So if you call, I don't pick up. You can send a text through WhatsApp or whatever, and then we can kind of go from there. If you feel that you want to come onto the show and talk to me, please feel free to chime in. We can discuss anything that you want to talk about, except politics, which lately I have been discussing, but that's only because my listeners are writing me these letters in reference to the politics of this world. So, until next time, my friends, you guys take care of yourself, take care of each other. We're going to let you roll out with this track. Until next time, we'll see you on the next one. Y'all have a good one now.